I sell a lot of stuff on Amazon. For myself, landlocked, we have about 50 brands that are working with Marknology on a monthly basis. So we're selling thousands of SKUs, managing millions of advertising dollars, and selling a lot of stuff on Amazon. Amazon is based around an algorithm. So they call it the A9, the Amazon A9 algorithm. It's similar to the Google algorithm, search for search. And I would like to explain it in simple terms as like, think of like you're in a race car and you've got a whole bunch of dials up on the dash. And it's, one's for your fuel, one's for your speed, one's for your RPMs. Maybe you got some NOS in there, you've just got a lot of stuff going on. And as an Amazon consultant, I'm looking at those dials and I'm saying, what can we tweak here? What can we tweak here? And do I need to focus on this? And is this operating right? And thinking of it like an algorithm, if you can get all those dials dialed into where they need to be for your business, you get this one to 10 out of 10, you get this one to 10 out of 10, this one to 10 out of 10, Amazon is going to reward that. So Amazon is a system not like eBay, it's built for buyers, the customers. It's not built for the sellers. And that's why Marknology has had so much success, is essentially helping sellers because of the difficulty there. But when you understand that Amazon cares about the customer, as a seller, if you make the customer experience fantastic, then Amazon is going to reward that. So it's an algorithm, you've got a ranking, you're dialing up all your dials, you've got your return rate great, you've got your reviews great, you've got your SEO and your copy great, you've got your photos great, you've got your videos, everything is working together to create this kind of like momentum of sales on the platform. Amazon's going to reward that. You start ranking higher, your product gets seen more, you sell a lot more stuff. FBA is an abbreviation for Fulfillment by Amazon. And what that means is I have 50 bottles of seasoning that I'm going to sell on Amazon. I prep those into a box per Amazon's specs. So what I mean by that is Amazon is going to give me some instructions or a guideline on how they want to receive product. I take my bottles of seasoning, I put them in a box. Amazon's going to give me a label that says, these are Andrew's seasonings coming into our warehouse. I send them to Amazon's warehouse for pennies, really, because it's such discounted shipping by Amazon. Amazon checks in that box, puts 50 bottles in stock on my store. So at first my store says 0, I send in 50, they start getting checked in, now I have 50 in stock. And Fulfillment by Amazon is the process of, once those items are in that warehouse, Amazon will pick them, pack them, and ship them to customers. The customer might know of it as Prime, but if you're not doing FBA, you can't really sell in Prime. And there's some exceptions to that, so for anyone out there wanting to prove me wrong, go ahead. But in general, FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. It's changed the game of e-commerce and ultimately is the driving force behind customers trusting Amazon. The holy grail of Amazon is getting the #1 best-selling badge in a category. Got one on Saturday for a client we've been celebrating all week. A lot of times if you have the #1 badge, it's like gold, it's yellow, it's top of page. You get a 40% increase in sales. So a lot of the strategy and things we're trying to do is to get a product to that #1 bestseller badge. There's others like Amazon's Choice, which is a black badge you might see on Amazon. It's specifically for a specific term for that listing. To get that, it's a return rate, it's customer satisfaction, it's reviews, but it's essentially if you tell the Alexa, hey Alexa, order me a back pillow for my chair. It's going to go to Amazon, and the one that says Amazon's Choice for back pillow, it's going to order that item for you automatically. So Amazon is trying to make recommendations based on what other customers have liked for you. There's all kinds of badges. Amazon's evolving every single day. So these things come and go, but I would say the holy grail is that #1 bestseller badge. You cannot buy a badge on Amazon. Getting a badge on Amazon is solely about the #1 bestseller badge is easy. It's moving more products in a day than anyone else in that category. Now, choosing category, choosing what product to move, how we're going to get those units to move is all part of, expertise and strategy. But at the end of the day, to get the #1 bestseller badge, you have to move more products than anyone else in 24 hours. So to me, the #1 bestseller badge is way more valuable. At the beginning, the Amazon's Choice badge was new, and I think people were like excited, what is this? And they see it on a lot more products, and I think Amazon is trying to find a way to get more clicks and engagement through these different badges. But the #1 bestseller badge is the coveted badge. Let's talk about the advantages of FBA for someone selling a product. For a new store, FBA is kind of getting big brother to stand up for you. You have a new store, no seller history, no reviews, nothing going on. You haven't proven yourself to Amazon. You're in a probation period, so to speak. And FBA is essentially Amazon saying, okay, you're new, but we're going to pick your items, we're going to pack them, we're going to ship them. If customers have returns, we're going to talk to them, we're going to facilitate those returns. We're going to get them replacements. It's amazing for new sellers because when you're worried about reviews at the beginning, if something happens with your shipment, Amazon's going to take responsibility for it. It's a home run for sellers that are trying to get started on the platform. Now, there's other things about FBA that you need to know, like can you do seller fulfilled Prime, which is where you ship it yourself, but you're getting that Prime badge? Yes, but unless you're shipping it like to the next state over, then it gets really costly really fast. No one can really beat FBA. Another thing about FBA, sellers don't really think about the time it takes for them to pick, pack, or ship an item. Amazon's doing that for you automatically, so you can focus on something else. People see that fee and they're like, I can't afford to sell on Amazon. You just haven't done the math or you're not calculating your labor. Another big strategy or thing that we've been doing at Marknology, we have warehousing services as well. But even with the brands that aren't using our services, we do something called FBM. And FBM is just kind of the opposite of FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon. It's fulfillment by merchant. And what that means is Andrew or Marknology is fulfilling the item. So on Amazon, you might see that as sold by Marknology, shipped by Amazon if it's FBA, or it might say sold by Marknology, shipped by Marknology if we're shipping it ourselves. And so in those instances, there's certain circumstances where you can't do FBA. Maybe you have a refrigerated product, and you're not in Amazon Fresh or something like that. Let's say you are shipping items on dry ice like I do at Chicago Steak Company. I was one of the first people to figure out how to ship items on dry ice on Amazon before they had bought Whole Foods and all this. The food started coming to Amazon. So we had to figure out ways that we could ship product. Brands will do it to back up their FBA items. That's an advanced strategy where you've got those 50 seasoning bottles in Amazon that we sent in. They sell out super fast. We weren't planning on it. Do we have to wait to get back in stock till we send the next shipment? Or can we use FBM to kind of bridge the gap for us and step in when we're not shipping through Amazon? All of a sudden, FBM steps in and we sell. The pandemic is a good example of why FBM can be helpful. Before, we were using FBM to back up FBA like in the holidays in Q4 when maybe they limit how much you can send in, or we just didn't have that much to send in at the time. We need to get more stock, but now it's too late to send in before Christmas, and FBM steps in. Now, during the pandemic, when they locked out where no one could send in items to FBA unless they were essential, FBM now became something that every brand was looking towards. And so if they were a Marknology brand, 9 times out of 10, we had already told them that we needed to be doing both approaches. And we had set them up to be able to turn on FBM at the drop of a hat and essentially be ready to go. So all kinds of strategies here outside of just listing product that really come into having you have a successful channel or a successful marketplace when it comes to Amazon. I can't speak enough to how knowing how to use these in your business can really pay off dividends. FBA is great for all the reasons I've mentioned, from automating the picking, packing, shipping, getting Amazon Big Brother to validate your store when you're new, to be eligible for Prime. But there are some disadvantages to Prime as well and FBA. I use them interchangeably, Prime and FBA. Some of the disadvantages would be stocking fees. If you've overstocked and you're not selling out in 30 days, and so you hit day 40, it's going to charge you for keeping those items. It continues to punish you as you don't sell through those items. So There's fees around obviously having them pick it, pack it, and ship it. There's fees around storage. There's fees if you can't sell it and you got to bring it back. There's fees if the item is unfulfillable or a customer returned it damaged and you got to remove it or dispose of it. Now, these are minimal, and if you have good management, you're really paying attention and running a clean system, you're going to be running with a lean inventory model. And so if you do that right, Amazon will reward you as well. It's one of those dials. So there's challenges to it, and it's one of the areas I've made the biggest mistake in my years of Amazon, when I sent in the wrong product and it got mixed in with the existing product and we had to shut down the whole thing. So FBA is no joke. There's fees attached to it. It's really important to understand all the ins and outs of how the program works. When we onboard a new brand, at first it's evaluating where they're at. Are they already launched on Amazon and just need help growing sales? Have they never sold on Amazon before? Have they just plateaued? Maybe it's a manpower issue. It definitely depends on where we're coming into the project. But let's say we're coming in to help a brand that's right at the beginning stages. When we engage with a new brand, we definitely have to evaluate where they are in the process. But once we do that, we set up a roadmap. And a lot of that is done even in the presentation stage of talking with that brand and really realizing where they're at. We're going to evaluate their photos. We're going to evaluate their copy, probably rewrite it. A lot of times we're creating A+ pages and storefronts for them because they haven't done that before, helping them get their brand set up for protection. All this is kind of happening at the same time. Marknology is built on a team that has different areas of expertise, so we can divide and conquer, so that one thing doesn't get stuck in the assembly line, so to speak. So first, we're in the evaluation stage of where is everything at. So we're evaluating all those things, we're creating a roadmap, and then we start optimizing. And optimizing just might mean changing out keywords, rewriting copy, updating photos, and most of that is leaning towards telling a story. So we're optimizing these things and we're tracking the results. So we've set up keyword trackers, we've set up market share analysis trackers, and we're starting to track all the changes that we're making. At the same time, we're implementing things like product inserts, feedback emails to help you get reviews, early reviewer program. Maybe we're implementing new advertising strategies that they hadn't tried before. Kind of a lot of moving parts. So we did the first optimizations. We started implementing some of these other things. We started tracking it. Then in a perfect world, we'd go back to the data that we've been tracking, see what's going on, see what keywords are working, see what keywords aren't working. Maybe some products have taken off, some products haven't taken off. Do another round of evaluation. Then we re-optimize, rinse, repeat again. So, it's essentially getting in, evaluating, making changes, see how those changes take place, A/B testing, and then running it back. If you're thinking about getting to Amazon, I would ask you this question: what's your opportunity cost for not doing it? Think about your competitors. What are they doing? How much, you can pay a $20 tool that will give you a good estimate of what your competitors are doing. And I think that if you don't evolve, if you don't adapt to change, if you don't pivot the way you've done business before, you don't think of Amazon as a legitimate channel, you're going to be left behind. Someone looking to get on Amazon, I would just say don't listen to all the gurus. The gurus are like for private label, and it's more of an amateur type of thing. Look to who are the brands working with, who's doing Amazon well. Whether it's Marknology or another agency or even an individual that's really figured it out. Look at your competitors. Spend a few dollars to get a tool that tells you what they're doing in sales, and really think about your opportunity cost for not getting on the platform. I think that's super important for brands, and owning your shelf space is so important to a brand, especially a brand that's not new, a brand that maybe has existed and spent years and tons of money on branding only to not care about it on Amazon is a mistake. So think about these things. Just take a leap or take a step in the direction of Amazon. Do a little bit of research, and I think you'll feel more confident about your decision.
I'm in the big leagues. Told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues. Told him that I gotta go, dog. I'm riding the road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my